Order. Questions to the Prime Minister. Mark Pritchard.
Number one, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I have been asked to reply. As the House may be aware, my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister's father, was taken seriously ill last night, so quite rightly he has travelled to be with his father and with his family, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of everybody on all sides of the House when I say we wish him, his father and their family all best wishes at this difficult time. Mr. Speaker, I would also, of course, like to start by paying tribute to the brave servicemen who have lost their lives over the summer since we last sat. They were Corporal Matthew Stenton from the Royal Dragoon Guards, Lance Corporal Stephen Monkhouse from 1st Battalion Scots Guards, Sapper Mark Smith from 36 Engineer Regiment, Lance Sergeant Dale McCallum from 1st Battalion Scots Guards, Marine Adam Brown from 40 Commando Royal Marines, Lieutenant John Sanderson from 1st Battalion the Mercian Regiment, Rifleman Raymond Kulung from 1st Battalion the Mercian Regiment, Sapper Darren Foster from 2-1 Engineer Regiment, Sapper Ishwa Gurung from 69 Gurkha Field Squadron, Lance Corporal Jordan Bancroft from 1st Battalion the Duke of Lancaster's Regiment, Lance Corporal Joseph Poole from 1st Battalion the Royal Regiment of Scotland, and Captain Andrew Griffiths from 2nd Battalion, the Duke of Lancaster's Regiment. Mr. Speaker, each of these men were heroic, selfless individuals who have given their lives for the safety of us and the British people. Nothing can ease the pain of the loved ones, families and friends that they have left behind, but their lives, service and sacrifice will never, ever be forgotten. We also remember Dr. Karen Wu, who was killed while providing aid and medical services to Afghan civilians, and we offer condolences to the wife and family of Ken McConaughey, devoted father of 4 and former police officer in Northern Ireland, who died on August the 7th whilst mentoring police forces in Helmand Province. The bravery of our servicemen and others, as I saw again myself when I was in Afghanistan last week, who are risking their daily lives to help the people of Afghanistan, is both inspiring and humbling.
Mark Pritchard.
Yesterday, West Mercia Police announced they were laying off 300 personnel. Does the Deputy Prime Minister agree with me that if it were not for the financial mess left by the last government, that many of these jobs, and indeed thousands of other public sector jobs across the country, could have been saved, and it is now left to the new coalition government to take the difficult decisions to sort out the nation's finances?
Yeah. Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I certainly agree with him that the previous government has left us with an extraordinary legacy, the largest deficit in our peacetime history. It was the previous government that took its eye off the ball and allowed the banks to lend money irresponsibly. It was the previous government that racked up these extraordinary debts and deficits. They were irresponsible in government and they're now living in denial in opposition. But, Mr. Speaker, we didn't just inherit a legacy of deficit, we also inherited a legacy of bureaucracy. And as Sir Dennis O'Connor, the Chief Inspector of Constabulary, pointed out in July, there were 2,600 pages of guidance were issued to police officers last year alone. He told us that if they were laid end to end, they would be 3 times higher than the Eiffel Tower. We need less bureaucracy and more police on the streets.
First of all, we need much less noise, and secondly, I just remind the front benches of the need for pithy exchanges to enable as many backbenchers as possible to contribute. Mr. Jack Straw.
Mr. Speaker, may I join the Deputy Prime Minister in paying tribute to all those who have lost their lives serving our country in Afghanistan since the House last met. We know that for each one of those individuals, there is a family who are immensely proud of their service, but who are consumed with grief for their loss. Our thoughts and prayers are with those bereaved families and the comrades and friends of all those who have died. Mr. Speaker, I think all of us had hoped that part of the opening of Prime Minister's questions would be an opportunity for us to express congratulations to Mrs Cameron and the Prime Minister on the birth of their new baby. And of course, on behalf of the opposition, we certainly do. But that, sadly, is tinged with the dreadful news about the Prime Minister's father. And may I say on behalf of the opposition that I am absolutely certain that he's made exactly the right decision to be where he knows he has to be with his father and his family at this difficult time. Mr Speaker, the Prime Minister in May brought Mr Andy Coulson into 10 Downing Street. May I ask the Right Honourable Gentleman is he entirely satisfied that whilst Mr Coulson was editor of the News of the World, at no time was Mr Coulson aware of any use of unlawful hacking of telephones?
Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I'm grateful for the words which he said about the Prime Minister and, of course, the great news about the birth of their new baby daughter, and I, of course, will pass those on. As for the issue of phone hacking, he knows, as we all know, that this is a very, very serious offence. A very serious offence indeed. It is an outrageous invasion of privacy, and it is right that 2 individuals were convicted and imprisoned. As for Mr Coulson, he's made it very, very clear that he took responsibility for something of which he had no knowledge at the News of the World, and he refutes all the allegations that have been made to the contrary. That statement speaks for itself. It is now for the police. It is now for the police and the police alone to decide whether new evidence has come to light which needs to be investigated.
Straw.
Mr Speaker, that wasn't an answer to the question I put. The question was, is the Right Honourable Gentleman entirely satisfied that whilst Mr Coulson was editor of the News of the World, at no time was Mr Coulson aware of any use of unlawful phone hacking? Yes or no?
The Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, Mr Coulson has made it quite clear that he had no knowledge, and he refutes all the allegations. While I, in a slightly rushed manner, was preparing for today, suspecting that this issue might come up, I read in one of the briefing notes I've received that when Andy Coulson resigned from the News of the World, the first person to call to commiserate was Gordon Brown. He told him not to worry, that he had done the honourable thing, and that he knew he would go on to do a worthwhile job.
Jack Straw. Order. Members must calm themselves. I can't imagine why they're so excited, but I want to get down the order paper. Jack Straw.
In May of this year, his right honourable friend, the Energy Secretary, said that, and I quote, Mr Coulson was either complicit in criminal activity or the most incompetent editor in Fleet Street. Which is it?
Deputy Prime Minister.
My right honourable friend and I are in complete agreement that if new evidence has come to light, the police, and that is what I want and that is what I expect, the police will now actively look to see whether that evidence is worthy of further investigation. That's what the police are there for. That's what they should be doing. Of course, it was under the previous government, the Labour government, that no further action was taken. It's the former Home Secretary who's now been making all sorts of pious remarks about this in the press, who decided not to actually involve the HMIC. The Director of Public Prosecutions, the Crown Prosecution Service, decided not to take any further action. If the police now think that new evidence has come to light, let them decide.
Jack Straw.
Mr Speaker, the Media Select Committee, chaired by his honourable friend, the Conservative member for Malden, said, and I quote, "The evidence we find makes it inconceivable that no one else at the News of the World, bar Mr Goodman, was aware of the activity of phone hacking." What does the Deputy Prime Minister know which the Select Committee did not know?
The Deputy Prime
Mr Speaker, The police now need to decide whether, in the light of the new allegations that have been made, there is new evidence which requires a further investigation. That's what the police are there for. I want them to get on with that. That is what I expect they should do. But honestly, I'm simply not going to take any lessons from a party that spent all its time in office backbiting against each other through leaks and counter-leaks in the press, a party of the dodgy dossier, of cash for peerages, of Damien McBride. Let's have a little bit of consistency on this, shall we?
Jack Straw.
So, Mr. Speaker, when the police have uncovered 2,978 mobile telephone numbers of potential victims, the New York Times has named his own honourable friend, the member for Bermondsey, as a potential victim. Does the Deputy Prime Minister expect us to believe that the only person who knew nothing about phone hacking at the News of the World was the editor, the very man whom the Prime Minister has brought into the heart of this government?
Deputy Prime Minister.
What I expect and hope he will believe is that it is now for the police to investigate whether these new charges and allegations have anything to them. That is what the police are there for. Does he want all of us to start second-guessing what's in the newspaper, what statements have been made? Let the police... Look, we've got a war in Afghanistan, we've got a flood in Pakistan, and he is inviting this government to second-guess the work of the police. I would have thought after all the years he was involved in our criminal justice system, he would know better.